Hey YouTube, Wes Stampley here, JWS Repair Service. Today we're going to continue a little bit of our series of the 500 Sportsman, Ranger, Worker 500 engine. These engines are basically all the same, as well as the 425 Magnum. Today we're going to be replacing the mechanical seal and the oil seal in the water pump, as well as the water pump shaft when we do the bottom end, because that is part of the oil pump. So stay tuned. We're going to try a little different camera angle so you can have a top down watching me replace this seal, and I'll show you some of the tools that you're going to need to do it. Stay tuned. Okay, this is our crankcase half. Now you don't actually have to pull the engine or take it out to do this. It does make it a little bit easier if it is this way. There is a way to replace the seals with the engine still assembled in the frame, but we're not doing that part this day. This is going to show you some of the tools that you need to do it regardless, and the methods that you use to get the old one out, get the new one in, new ones in. There's an oil seal and a mechanical seal. The bearing is on the other side. It's on the inside, so obviously if you need this bearing, you would have to split the cases and take that apart. Once you've done that, there's two ways to replace these seals. I could pull this bearing out and just drive it through the opposite side. That's not going to do you any good if you're trying to do it without disassembling the engine, so I'm going to show you what you would need to do in case it was still, the engine was assembled and or still in the frame of the bike. So let me grab a couple of things here and I'll show you what to do. Now first off, we're going to have to remove the old mechanical seal. Now this is driven into the case. It's a press fit. It's not crazy tight, but there's just really not a good method to get these out other than a screwdriver or a chisel or something to get under this outside flange, and you're just going to kind of bend it and you're going to ruin it. There's no taking it out, put it back in. You're going to destroy it, put it out. So let's go ahead, and I don't know if you can see this or not. I can't tell, but if you look at the edge of that, you can see where the case has got some marks on it. This seal's been replaced before, so they got into it a little bit there, but you may damage just a little bit of the aluminum around it. Try to minimize that as best you can, but the new seal has a sealing surface on it on the outside to seal the outside of it, and then there's a ridge on top. This lip will help cover some stuff, but still, you don't want any big gouges in there. Try to be careful. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a few taps here. We're going to bend that edge in and see if we can get this to start out. And it is a little tight, and the grunting noises are optional, but I've found sometimes that they do help. It just depends on what grunt you want to make. That's entirely up to you, but sometimes it does indeed help. I'm going to turn it around a little bit. See, that was a good grunt that got me something. So anyway, let's get this to move around. See if we can get this to loosen up in here. Let's see if I can drive that screwdriver down just a little bit. Yeah, there's nothing graceful about this or anything. This is just brute force, who wins. So I just kind of, like I said, you're going to destroy it, so I just went ahead and just broke the inside of it out. Like I said, you're not going to be reusing that anyway. There's the spring that was in it. You can take all that out and make you a sealed kit, I guess. I mean, you can put it back. Well, where is it? There it is. Different angle with this top down, so I'm having a hard time figuring out where I need to be. All right, so we got all that out of the way. Well, except for that spring seat, but we're not worried about it. Just kind of help us get a look at what we're doing here. All right. Now let's see if that's loose enough to actually pull out. Well, I cut it off, but not enough. Let me zoom back out just a little bit. All right. I'm just going to work it around. Try to, like I said, you're basically wanting to just make it small enough so it'll quit holding the edge. Okay. Maybe. Or maybe not. Let's give it a little bit more. Ow. You don't have to hit your hand. That's not an actual part of the repair. It's not required. So it is optional if you want to, but I've noticed that sometimes it's accompanied by pain, so you might not want to do that. Let me grab a punch. I just got a little punch and grab that. Okay, now it's starting to say, okay, I see you're not kidding. Let me go ahead and vacate the premises. So that's good that it gave up. Okay, there's the seal, or the back part of the seal. Now, you can see that there are some obvious marks in here where it's not wanted to come out in the past, but that's not a big deal. That's not anything that's bad enough to ruin anything. So we're good there. Now we just need to pop out the oil seal, which is down inside there. Let me zoom in just a bit here. Whoopsie. We'll move it like this. See that a little bit better, but there's an oil seal inside there. And we're going to grab this oil seal and just pop it out. It shouldn't be tremendously stout in there. There we go. And just like that, we've got the oil seal out. Well, where is it? There it is. There's the oil seal. Okay, there's some old nasty stuff down in here, so let's clean that out. Okay, looks good. I'm going to hit this with a little bit of air, so headphone warning. I'm going to blow this out, so watch your ears. Okay, if you're not deaf and you're back with me, congratulations. Now, I'm going to take the new oil seal, and I'll show that to you. You can see the part number 4. It's a 308-4836 Polaris oil seal. We're going to install this. Now, we're just going to push this in there or hammer it in there. You're going to need a socket that is 24.5 millimeters on the outside. Now, the one that I used is a snap-on. It's a 18 millimeter. Now, yours may or may not be, depending on brands. The thickness of the socket is different. But for snap-on, an 18 gets me what I need. So, we're going to put just a little bit of oil on the seal. Just regular 4-stroke engine oil. And let's see. I've got some right here. Just a little 1040, but I know that's not what the engine calls for. The engine calls for 040. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Whoops, wrong way again. It calls for 040, but that's fine. This is just for lubricating the seal some so that we can get it in there. All right, we'll press that in there. So you're going to want it where the sealing, gently to, the sealing surfaces this way. Don't mount it like that. We want to mount it this side up, so the writing would be up and facing you. So we're going to put that in and take our socket with the 24.5 millimeter outside diameter, place it on there, and we're going to drive that seal in. Make sure it's going nice and straight. And a little bit on that side. Get it nice and straight in there. It's up a little bit more on this one side than the other, but now it's looking pretty good. It should go in and stop anyway. It's got a ridge that it sits on, so you can't drive it too far in there. All right, that seems pretty good. Go ahead and zoom in. Let's take a look at that. All right, so we're even. We've got an even line all the way around of where the seal is setting. All right, now let's back out, and we're going to take the mechanical seal and put in. Now, don't oil the mechanical seal. It already has this sealing, this blue, purple, whatever it is stuff on there is your sealing material. So we're just going to take that, kind of start that in the hole. Now, for this one to put it in, I have a flywheel puller that says it's a 28 by something, but when I measured this, it was actually 27 on the inside and 32 millimeters on the outside. The reason that that's important, how it clears, is because you've got this big seal inside this, and you just want to catch that outside edge, but you don't want to hit this because that's a ceramic seal and you'll break it. So this one's kind of important that it be exactly the right size on the inside and the outside. So, but that's what I've got. It's, like I said, it's 32 out here and it's 27 in here. So that's what it takes to fit over this exactly right. So we'll put that in, kind of get it started, slide it over. Now this is going to fit a lot tighter than the oil seal did. So we're going to drive that till it seats firmly. Matter of fact, let me give it another little shot there to make sure that's all the way in there. And that is all the way in. Let me zoom in and show you. You can see you got, okay, don't focus. You can see you got a nice sealing edge. The little edge is all the way down, all the way around and flat into that. Those little grooves that are in it you can't really see anymore. They're pretty mild. And the part number on that mechanical seal was a 308-4837. Almost forgot to show that before I tore the package open. But that's what at least you can see the part number. So that's what that is for that. And that pretty much concludes a water pump seal and oil seal, water pump oil seal replacement for Polaris 500. So I appreciate you watching, and we'll do an outro, and we'll see you in a minute. Okay, so we got the oil seal and the mechanical seal for the water pump on the Polaris 500 replaced. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. If you'd like to also follow us, you can hit the subscribe button. It's free to you and it helps us build our channel. You can also tap that notification bell to be the first to know when we post new videos. You can catch us on the web anytime at www.jwsrepairservices.com, and we appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot.